So check this out. Let me turn up the volume here really quick, and it's one of those videos. It's like it won't pause. Okay, all right. So this came through my feed just recently. So
hold it.
Yeah. Oh, and you just locked the camera.
Freaking idiot,
dude. Okay, hold on then. Play. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now you're holding.
No, not.
That was Surrey. You were holding.
No way.
Okay, all right, there you go. We'll get this eventually.
Oh, is this the?
Okay, all right. Yeah, just watch it. This is the top of the mountain.
Se agachó. ¡A la madre! ¡Brincó bien fuerte! ¡A la madre! Van a ver lo que grabé ahorita. ¡Hala!
How tall that thing is.
No estaba antes de... ¡Bájale la música!
I mean, obviously they're looking like... I mean, that mountain's got to be like a couple 100 feet tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not something you could just, like, hike up super easy. And then you see that thing standing up there and walking. That thing is tall.
That's weird, because I just read this thing about the dude up in Canada, too, that would, like, stop to film the top of that mountain. Did you hear about that?
Yes. So that's the Andrew Dawson story. Do you know a lot about that?
I didn't.
Okay. Dude, you gotta hear this one. This one, okay, so there's this guy, Andrew Dawson, and for those that haven't seen the video, this is the video, and it's circulated around the internet. It's probably been out a couple years now, but it's literally someone, he lives in Canada, he's driving along, and then there's this mountain, but it's like a snowscape mountain. And it's like, he looks at the top of the mountain, and it looks like something's like, either like a really tall tree or something like that is like on the edge of the mountain. And then all of a sudden, as he's like recording, he's like, what the heck? And it stands up and starts like moving. And he's like, no way. So he like pulls his car over. He like tries to stay. I mean, he's trying to record on a cell phone a mountain that's like miles away, right? So it's hard to like get like a very detailed picture, but he's like trying to zoom in. He's trying not to shake. Anyways, what appears, just like that in the video from Mexico, appears to be a giant. Or someone that's super duper tall, and not like Travis giant, like 6'4", like
10 feet.
10, 15 feet tall, so maybe 20 feet tall, who knows, these people. And so his first thought was like, oh, maybe it's Sasquatch, maybe it's like a Yeti or something.
Classic thoughts.
Yeah, which is where your mind should go. But then it's like, when he thinks about it, like to scale how many miles away he was, he's like, no, dude, this is something different. So anyway, so Andrew Dawson ends up becoming like fixated on it. He ends up taking the video, he posts it on his social media, and then he starts talking about it on his social media, and he tells everybody, he's like, hey, I'm gonna go up there, and I'm gonna try to like figure this out. So he gets on the road, and he starts driving up to this mountain, and there's like a road off of the freeway that'll then take him up, pretty high up the mountain to the point where maybe he can get out and look around. Well, as he starts pulling into that area, there is a unmarked police car that's blocking the dirt road. And he pulls up, and this guy gets out, and he's like, what are you doing here? This road's closed, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, nothing, just doing like wanted to drive up the canyon, kind of just playing it off. And so then he leaves. And then he's like, dang it, dude, like I need to get back up there and check it out again. So then he decides like a few days later, he goes back up that same road, tries to get in the canyon, and sure enough, that unmarked police car's still there. And same thing. And he's like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And, gets him to turn around and leave. But this time it's during the day. The first time he went at night. And then as he's pulling away, here comes 3 military helicopters. And if you know helicopter, I'm not a helicopter aficionado. But I know what a Black Hawk is. I know what an Apache is. And then there's helicopters that are really big that carry really heavy stuff.
They have the 2 propellers.
Yeah, the 2 propellers, right? And it's the big green ones. 3 of those suckers are flying over, and they're carrying something in a net. And then there's big crates, and they're flying right over where he was.
crates?
Yeah, like giant crates.
Sweet.
Like, like shipping containers, like that kind of style of thing. So then he sees that fly over, and now he's like, dude, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
So he goes back and he's like sharing all this information. He's showing his videos. He even like records himself talking to the police officer, like with his phone down, like up to the ceiling. So you don't see the police officer, but you can hear him talking and stuff. Anyways, so then after he posts all this stuff, the next post he has is like him at home, and he seems like paranoid. And he's like, dude, I think someone's following me. There's this like unmarked like Charger, like the Dodge Charger type. It's like a classic police car. He's like, it's been out there. It's been at my house. And then as he's recording, he like runs out his front. Oh, dude, the mic did die. We'll just talk loud. But anyways, he runs out of his house directly towards the car or whatever. And the car like peels out and takes off. He posts that video online. And
gosh, how more obvious that like you're tailing somebody than when you run at them.
And they're just like gone. So then
maybe it's not real, but yeah.
Yeah. There's always a possibility. But then as the story goes on, he posts that video and then nothing. And he's like very active on his social media. He has like thousands of followers, and most of it's like.
Didn't he have one where he came out and he like said it was all fake?
That's exactly what happened. But it was after the gap of time where no one heard him. It was like a couple weeks. And everyone's like, he normally posts and shares stuff. He posts things about his kid, his wife, all this stuff. And then it was just this experience. He was just talking a lot about it. So then he ends up posting another video, and it's like him standing up against like a wall. And they're like, and it sounds like it's just scripted. He's like, yeah, everything that I did and said, it was all a lie. I was just, screwing around and like thought it'd be funny.
The classic,
it was like a prank.
For somebody.
And then like he's like sitting there. He's got his hands in his pocket, and he's like looking over like to the side, and he's like talking. He looks over like this again, and he keeps talking. So just it seems unnatural and very, very, very different from his other videos. Okay.
Guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys. So now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
So then after he posts this video, fast forward a couple more days, he posts another video saying that what he said in the previous video, he was forced to say.
Really?
Yeah. And so then everybody's like, dude, what the freak is happening?
The FBI guys that was working with him is like, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that. I warned him.
I told him.
And so then after he posts that video of him saying it was just like he was forced to and coerced to say those things, no one ever heard from him again. Never posted.
Like now, still?
Yeah, never posted on social media.
Andrew Dawson.
Never found again, right?
Dang.
At least that's the story.
Yeah.
There are rumors that he's still alive. There's people that have done like background checks and like, you can search for like
social
property and stuff like that. And so there's evidence some people believe there's evidence that shows that he's still alive, that it was all just like a ruse, and that the giant on the hill was actually like a radio antenna tower at the top of this mountain. But
convenient.
Yeah, convenient. So I don't know. You have to decide for yourself.
There was an obituary posted for him in July of 22.
Yeah. So
what does the obituary say?
Say that he I don't know how, I can't remember if it says the
Loving
circumstances.
husband, father, uncle, brother, son. Mom,
must have been suicide. Double tap to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Mom, soulmate, Trinity and family, son, grandma. Doesn't say, it's not like.
It's not very
They
descriptive.
don't ever like.
It's
say,
like someone filled out a checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't have it's not in like story form or anything. It's just kind of like
An obituary checklist.
yeah.
Loving. Then there's like 13 options. Yes, loving son,
Kind.
father.
Why are they all positive? He was a jerk.
Yeah.
No one liked him. Yeah. So then it brings in the topic of like, is there actual real giants? Well, there have been many cases in archaeology. Archaeologists have found big, abnormally large skeletons, right? Where it's like abnormally large skulls. They're like 10 feet tall. And they found them everywhere from like Europe to South America. They found them in the United States. So like there's like evidence of some kind that there was at some point or another in history an abnormally large person. So does that mean that there's actual like giants? Did you look it up?
Well,
That is.
Well, like some of these, yeah, that's fake for sure. Dude. That'd be like a 50-foot tall person.
some of the photos when I first years ago got into like hidden archaeology and
It's
like
the
giants.
Jerusalem Post. Isn't that a real newspaper?
I mean, I've not been to Jerusalem, so I can't really necessarily say.
Yeah.
But
Look,
it's possible.
It has like Israeli news, health, world news, Middle East.
Which one is it? A picture where it's like a huge skull and the person's next to it?
No, I know which one you're talking about. This
Yeah.
one's like it looks like he's standing on the shoulder.
Bro,
But
yeah.
this would be like 100-foot tall human.
Yeah.
No, not that big.
Okay.
But there has been a lot of those
What about this
archaeological
one?
finds.
What about that one? I mean, I guess nowadays everything can be fake, right?
Yeah, see that one I don't believe. That one looks weird.
Like this one might look real.
Go click on that one right there.
Well, if you look at like the stories in the
And we'll
Bible,
show all these and it'll pop up, but
the stories in the Bible that talk about giants, like the giants were
found in China.
ate
Scroll up.
they ate humans.
Look how big that person is. Look at like the pottery that's next to it.
So if a giant is like eating humans and they're terrified of it, the giant's big enough that like a couple adult fighters can't like fight off the giant. So he's
Right.
big enough you can just walk into your campsite, pick up your kid and eat him, and you can't do anything about it, even if you had a bunch of people helping you. Like, yeah, then maybe they are like
But when you get
60
into
feet
like
tall.
biblical times, you know, you have
Well, yeah, I mean, we believe
Goliath.
in Goliath, right?
Yeah.
And Goliath was descended from the Nephilim,
the Nephilim. Yeah.
Fallen angels.
the fallen angels. So that's
Which-
why they were, and that's why, remember, because God's like, do not mix with those people, Israel.
And I like
And I was like, that's so mean. I don't get why they're doing it, but like,
Yeah.
because they had genetic from
They had, like,
angels or something. I don't
pure
know.
genetics that could maybe live in whatever environment, and he knew that it would pass on. But you think about like military groups, right? They go in and occupy an area,
Right.
and they're like just regular people, right? So you're going to like cover and protect a tribe, and the general's like, do not interact with the tribe. Like, just watch them. Don't interact with them.
Right.
And then the group gets out there, and the group's like, hey, they're like, this tribe's pretty. Like, I'm going to talk. And it's like, no, like, you can't, you're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. And then they ended up breaking their orders, interacting. And it's like, is that the fallen angels are just that? Like, they're supposed to watch and protect over, but instead
The
they're
Watchers.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, these ladies are hot.
Well, and then the funny thing is, and then that leads me to think too, throw back to our previous episode, talking about that alien crash in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
How tall were the beings that came out that they were
Yeah,
like
they're
all
like
afraid of? They're
9
like 9-10 feet tall,
Yeah.
which is about the size of what
True.
Goliath would have been.
I thought this was kind of funny. One of the things that the
Crazy.
giants / watchers / Nephilim, one of the forbidden things that they taught the sons of what do they call them, Sons of Man or whatever, was makeup. So, ladies, if you're hoeing it up, you're taking that ancient knowledge of makeup.
Magic.
It was seriously like witchcraft, something else really terrible, and makeup. And I'm like, well, jeez.
So
I got my like 8-year-old daughter like this little makeup kit. She like puts all over her face. I'm like, oh no, the Nephilim got
And
her.
then someone's
Nephilim got her.
like, oh, look at that sacrilegious father getting his daughter those things. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Gosh.
But there's all kinds of different experiences and stories of like giants. It makes me also think that like Sasquatch and Yetis and all that stuff there might be some kind of correlation there.
Well, I wonder, like, you see these stories or you hear these stories where they see a giant like out in the open wandering around, and then military stuff happens, and you wonder, like, okay, if we live on like the honeycomb earth and there's giants that live in there and they wander out, how evolved are the giants, right? If the giants are more like a kid and they somehow get out, like that one we started this video, like the giant just looked like it was just playing on the rocks, right?
Yeah, like jumping from.
So is it just like the giants are just like a kid who's got out and exploring?
Standing just below Adam Selinsky, who has lifted a small yellow sports car to the air with 3 unidentified persons in it. From what I could make out, it looks like 2 young teenagers, a boy and a girl, and a man dressed in an Indian costume.
What's he doing?
He's taking something out of his pocket. A peppermint.
And then the military is like, well, this can't get out. Like, we've got to get this.
It's so weird. Like I often wonder, like, well, what if we just like, oh, there was a giant in Mexico? I'd be like, all right. I don't know.
At this point,
I mean, it'd be like, yeah.
It wouldn't. I don't think it would.
I mean, what do they think would happen? Like at some point, like people would be like just going crazy.
People would just be like, "Wow, it was really tall."
It'd be like that one scene in Hot Rod when they're like singing that like 80s anthem.
Yeah, the anthem.
And then all of a sudden it just turns into like people are just going nuts and
rioting.
destroying.
Was that because of us?
There's a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
maybe they just threw them in like that shipping container on that helicopter.
That's what made me think, like, maybe they just go up and contain them and put them back. But it's just like a kid that's missing and they just wander around and playing, and then it's like, you
like,
go
look,
against
a big hill.
Our who's the guy, the evolution guy?
Al Gore.
No,
I'm just kidding.
He's global warming.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't.
And the internet. He created the internet.
Oh yeah, he did supposedly create the internet.
Good job, Al Gore.
I can't remember who did. Darwin.
Oh, Darwin. Yeah.
If it like goes against the Darwin ideology of evolution, like these giants don't fit into that.
No.
So they're like, oh, we need to like push you off the board and hide you.
Yeah.
But,
and then so I guess for all of our connectors out there, if you find a giant, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because
doesn't end well.
Yeah, you might end up in the obituary if you decide to try to investigate it further.
I look at like then you have the Apocrypha, and you have the Bible talking about giants.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have it twice because it talks about it in Genesis too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. The giants thing's weird because we already believe in a lot of weird things as really any religion.
Yeah,
if you boil it down. So I mean, giants wouldn't even be the most strange thing that we believe.
Most outlandish thing.
Right.
And it's in the scriptures.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy, man. I'm like, good grief.
Yeah,
dude.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. Well, big shout out to my buddies. Travis Fielding for being here. Just connect the dots. Make sure you like and subscribe our videos. Share them. Get them. Fielding already left. Gosh dang, he didn't even wait for the plug. Now there's like smoke in the room and stuff. Anyways, like and subscribe. Comment on our stuff. It helps us a ton.
He owes me $5.
He didn't pay you?
Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, that's messed
I'll
up,
forget
dude.
him next time.
Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. Adios. We'll see you next time. And always remember, you're a champion. You right there, you're a champion. Don't forget it. We're out of here.